This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. It wasn't the debate Florida Senator Marco Rubio was dreaming of a year ago at this time. You bet he wished it was Hillary Clinton at the other podium, but as we all know, Rubio got thumped by Trump, and now he is facing off against a Democratic congressman almost half of voters have never heard of. Last night, Rubio faced off with Democrat Patrick Murphy in Orlando, and all in all, and unlike the presidential debates so far, it was full of actual substance. A new poll showing the race between Rubio and Murphy in a dead heat. And this was the best chance so far for voters to see the two men side by side, head to head on the issues. Tonight, we break it all down, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. And the winner is, we now know who will be leading Sarasota schools in the coming years. In a unanimous vote, the school board is choosing Todd Bowden. The decision coming after harassment allegations against Bowden were ruled unfounded. We spoke with the chair of the school board moments after the decision.
We had 3 good candidates, and I know that the board kind of wanted to go with a local candidate, and that swayed them.
Bowden will help oversee some 52 schools with more than 42,000 students and 5,000 employees. Superintendent Lori White will retire in February. More on this story coming up tonight at 11. Oh, yay! If you're getting Social Security, Uncle Sam will have a little something extra for you starting next year. That's a little something. Social Security beneficiaries will receive a 0.03 cost of living increase in 2017. A 0.3% increase means the average recipient will get about $5 more per month. Government benefits consultants say the cost of living increase could have consequences for those paying into Social Security.
So as inflation would go up, the increase would go up, and there's all these different factors. But what's interesting is the portion of the consumer price index that Social Security uses today really only covers about 1/3 of the people.
Possibly by the time I get older, I'm going to have to work longer, or possibly not be able to have a livable wage to our Social Security to live off of.
This is the smallest annual increase of Social Security, with the exceptions of 3 years without any increase at all. And if you're making the minimum wage, you're getting a raise, kind of. Florida's minimum wage is going up by a nickel to $8.10 starting in January 1st, the 5th smallest hourly increase since the state established a minimum wage in 2005. It is still nearly $1 above the national average. A bill to raise the state minimum wage to $15 an hour died during this legislative session. It was not even given a hearing. Now to Venice, where questions remain over the fate of the former library. The building was closed in January because of mold. Venice's vice mayor says the property is owned by the city, and they are now determining whether or not to tear down the building. Any decision on what to do with the location will go before Sarasota's County Commission for approval. A new condo complex could be coming to the city of Venice next to Fisherman's Wharf. Developer Mike Miller says plans are in the works to transform the empty property into a new 32-unit building along with a restaurant and marina access. A similar proposal was approved for the site a few years ago, but was shelved when the economy tanked. Miller has yet to file formal paperwork for the proposed condo. Meanwhile, nearly 30 condo owners in Manatee County are facing eviction as an investment group tries to turn the units into apartments. A Minnesota-based trust recently purchased the majority of the condos in the Palm Cove community, allowing them to dissolve the condo association. Individual owners are now being told they have no choice but to sell their units.
It's just unbelievable. Here today we can stand and somebody can take your home just for profits.
A 2006 Florida statute was cited as justification for the evictions. Now a follow-up on the truck that went over a Sarasota bridge yesterday. The driver crashed through the railing of the Coon Key Bridge into Sarasota Bay. He was not seriously hurt, but is being cited for careless driving. About 15 gallons of diesel fuel spilled into the water, but is being cleaned up. The Florida Department of Transportation says the truck caused up to $1,500 worth of damage. Repairs could be completed by tomorrow. Any necessary lane closures would take place overnight. And still to come, actually first, let's get a check with our weather, and here is meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. We are looking at a gorgeous evening. Sun has just set and temperatures still remain warm. The high today was 91 degrees, 91, yesterday 90, so the heat goes on, but the humidity is what's been so nice. It's been low, and that dry air will remain in place, and currently we are looking at generally east to northeast winds all day long, and that's what they continue to be out of the east now at 9 miles an hour. The temperature has cooled down to 83. Just 2 hours ago it was 91, and the barometer rising to 9.96 inches. The rain is mainly to our south. There have been a few very brief showers around, but those are very isolated and has since moved on, and there's not much else going on out there. Evening planner shows a pretty nice evening ahead. Temperatures staying on the warm side, though, through 11 o'clock. Clear skies, 76 degrees, and that's well above the average for this time of year. You can see that dry air on the scale there. Just below the banner, it says dry, and that's what we have right across the Gulf of Mexico and all throughout the southeast. And we have an approaching cold front headed our way. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later. But with all this dry air around, don't expect much rain from this cold front as it makes its way finally through the Suncoast. And to the east of the Bahamas, there is a system that has a real good chance of developing into our next named storm. In fact, the Hurricane Center just bumped this up today to 80% chance. Yesterday it was at 60, and that's in the next 5 days, and the 50% chance in the next 2 days. If it were to develop, it would move off basically to the north because of an approaching cold front across the southeast United States. So that'll be good news on that front. Looks like we'll stay clear if Otto were to form.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, the Marco Rubio-Patrick Murphy debate. Both nominees came out swinging with disagreements on a range of issues. We'll have highlights and analysis when we return.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community. ABC7's My Suncoast News app is better than ever with a brand new design that's faster and easier to use. Download our free My Suncoast News app on your mobile device at your app store of choice. Powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life. ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Bella siccome un angelo,
Sarasota Opera presents Donizetti's Don Pasquale. 6 performances from October 28th through November 13th. Reserve your tickets at sarasotaopera.org.
Did you watch last night's debate between Marco Rubio and his Democratic challenger Patrick Murphy? Hey, they actually debated substance, only one allegation of groping. Michael Lepardi has the story.
Senator Marco Rubio and Congressman Patrick Murphy shook hands at the beginning of the first debate at the University of Central Florida. But soon after, the gloves came off. The two candidates found themselves talking about their party's nominee for president.
And I don't understand how Senator Rubio can look himself in the mirror and still stand by Donald Trump's side after everything that's come out about him.
Rubio accuses Murphy's family business of benefiting from Trump while taking aim at Hillary Clinton.
When she's been caught doing all these things, he has not once condemned her, not once pointed finger at her, has not once broken with her on any of her behaviors or, quite frankly, on any of her major policies.
There were fireworks outside, too, as supporters from both sides stood face to face. At the doors to the debate, we captured this scuffle as Bruce Nathan, a no-party candidate, tried to enter the building without a ticket. But most of the action was on the stage, particularly over gun control in connection with the attack at Pulse.
But you think about my opponent, Marco Rubio, who's taken millions and millions of dollars from the gun lobby, who's doing their bidding in the U.S. Senate. And that's shameful.
Congressman, my law was not written by the NRA. It was written by my staffers. In fact, the NRA hasn't even come out in support of the law that I've written.
All right, we're going to go right into our roundtable. Our guests tonight are Kevin Griffith, the vice chair of the Sarasota County Democratic Party, Christian Ziegler, state committee man for the Republican Party of Florida, and William March, a veteran politics reporter here in Florida. I know what you guys are going to say in terms of who won, who lost. So, Wendy, I'm going to turn to you, the nonpartisan political reporter.
Okay, that'll guarantee you a nice evasive answer. I don't think there was a clear knock it out of the park winner. I think Patrick Murphy probably gained more, but the question is, did he gain as much as he needed? He had a bigger job to get done. Did he get it done? And that's very much an open question.
Well, the interesting question there is, on one hand, Murphy himself said today or yesterday that only 51% of likely voters in Florida even know who he is. And on top of that, the Quinnipiac poll comes out today showing that that race is within 2 points, which is really quite interesting. So, you know, Kevin, I'll start with you. I'm sure you're happy with how the congressman did last night.
I am. You know, the one thing that stuck out to me was that he looked senatorial. He looked like a statesman, and he carried himself well. Marco Rubio, we all know, has debated for presidency, has run before, and I think Patrick Murphy had a high bar, and he hit it. And so I think and Democrats and independents around the state have something to look forward to.
But it's because Rubio has debated so much in the last 12 months. You know, politics aside, he was pretty sharp and pretty quick with the wit when he needed to be, Christian.
Yeah, he was, but he actually brought substance to the debate. I mean, when you look at Patrick, no, they actually didn't. I mean, when you look at it, Patrick Murphy, from the very beginning until the end, he was like an attack dog, right? He was just trying to attack. And from my perspective, being involved so much, when a candidate's like that, they know they're in trouble in the polls, and that's their only action. So, you know, you had Patrick Murphy attacking Marco Rubio, and then you had Marco Rubio actually firing back and really backing up his record and listing his record of accomplishments versus Patrick Murphy, who has zero record of accomplishments in Congress. So I think walking away from that debate, it's pretty clear. I mean, you look at both guys on paper, one has accomplishments, the other one doesn't. And I think everyone watching it, I mean, if you look at all I think Washington Post, the Miami Herald, they all came out and said Rubio pretty handily won that debate.
Well, there were some interesting comments which we're going to get into in a couple of minutes. I believe Joe Henderson actually wrote a column today saying it was checkmate because once Rubio said that he is going to serve his full 6 years, that took a line of attack away from Murphy. But we are going to get to all of that coming up, and we're just going to get going with this conversation. More from our roundtable when we come back.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go. It's Time to upgrade your favorite news app. Now, ABC7's My Suncoast News app is better than ever with a dynamic, brand new design that's faster and easier to use. Stay connected with new features that make it easy to submit photos, share stories on Facebook and Twitter, and save stories for reading at a later time. Download our free My Suncoast News app on your mobile device at your app store. ABC7's all-new My Suncoast News app. Just another way we're here for you. Powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Welcome back to our analysis of last night's debate between Marco Rubio and Patrick Murphy, and it continues now with our roundtable. I guess if there were any headlines last night was Marco Rubio's promise that if he is reelected to a second term, that he will serve all 6 years, which seemingly would say that he is not going to run for president should Donald Trump lose this presidential race. Let's take a look.
Will you join me tonight in signing a 6-year pledge that you are committed to serving this job and not going to seek higher office?
I'm going to serve 6 years in the United States Senate, God willing, and I'm looking forward to it.
Are you promising to fill all 6 years of your term?
I'm going to be a senator for the next 6 years on behalf of the state of Florida. You can't be a senator and president at the same time. So I am running for the United States Senate. I'm going to serve 6 years, God willing.
A couple of things there. Number one, the laughter in the room when he said it, which was pretty interesting. And the question becomes, does anybody believe that, Wendy?
Well, the laughter came from Democrats who don't, I assume. This is Marco Rubio trying to knock down probably Patrick Murphy's second biggest argument against him, first biggest being that he's allied with Trump. Second biggest is Murphy's argument that Rubio is running for this office only so he'll have a high-profile job while he sets up for 2020. Now, you heard the moderators, obviously taken by surprise by this, trying to pin Rubio down. Will you rule out running for president in 2020? There was maybe just the tiniest hint of evasiveness in his answer. God willing, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, two things. He did say several times he will serve 6 years as senator, but I don't know if I've ever heard somebody hedge an answer with God willing before.
Yeah, but when you look at this, I mean, everyone's talking 2020. Is he going to run? Is he taking himself out of the race for 2020? Look, Donald Trump's going to win. I mean, this is, when you look at the press and they're shocked that Rubio's not going to run for 2020 or in 2020, I think it's pretty clear that the press is now looking past November and making the assumption that Donald Trump's not going to win. Because if Donald Trump wins, then there's no question about 2020. So I don't know why we're sitting back talking about 2020, especially members of the press, when they're shocked when they're asking that question and getting an answer when we haven't even gotten to November yet. So, you know, I think Rubio was pretty clear in his comments, and, you know, you have to accept it for what he says.
Kevin?
And I think the shock is going to be if we can believe a politician who might change his mind in 4 years. I think the irony with Marco Rubio is that he's spent most of his career running against politicians, but now he's been there sort of long enough that he's the politician. And the irony in this race is that he's used to being the young person in the room, and now Congressman Murphy is the young person in the room.
You know, Christian, hold on one second, because it is a legitimate question to ask. In the best case scenario, Trump would have a 50-50 chance to win this race, and all national polls at this point show him losing by 4 to 11 points. So it is a legitimate question to ask Marco Rubio, would you, if you win this office, stay for the complete 6 years?
Yeah, I think the more legitimate question, because Rubio was pretty clear in his response there, I think the question that everyone should be asking, especially after that debate, is why would we want Patrick Murphy in the Senate? He has 0 accomplishments. He's accomplished 0.
We're going to talk about that in the next segment. Well,
that's what the question should be. I mean, this whole, are you going to run in 2020? Rubio's been clear. I think he's counting on a Donald Trump win as well. And we're just kind of looking past this November, and it's somewhat disappointing.
But where are Senator Rubio's accomplishments? I mean, he's been in a Senate that's...
We're going to get to all of that in the next block. But the history here is that Rubio did say emphatically he was not going to run for re-election in the first place.
He was even more clear on that. He said the problems of the country cannot be solved by senators and congressmen. He said he did not like the job of being in the Senate. He said he absolutely would be a private citizen as of January 2017.
Right. And Kevin, I just want to get to the flip side of this, that if by Rubio saying he will serve 6 years if reelected, that does take out a major line of attack from Patrick Murphy.
Well, I think the broader question is, do you believe Marco Rubio? And based upon his stances up to this point, where first he said he wasn't going to run, now he's in the race, can you believe him? And I think most of the people listening last night can see that there was at least some hedge there.
I remember Hillary Clinton saying she wasn't going to run for president as well.
Okay.
So.
Well, we'll have to take a quick break there, but when we come back, we'll have a check on our weather, and stay tuned for much more of this panel.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called 3-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Totoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
Our roundtable continues in just a moment, but right now let's get a check on our Suncoast weather from ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
A beautiful evening and a beautiful sunset it was. Tower Cam getting a look at the sun dropping below the horizon with a few clouds around again tonight, making for a spectacular time lapse, and we have had some photos sent in as well. And then last night, a great shot of the moon, and get a look at this from Janet Russo out of Bradenton. getting this picture and snapping it and sending it to pics@mysuncoast.com. Well, the radar picture not very active today. We've got this easterly wind flow, and the east wind is bringing in a few showers along the coast, but not much happening here along the west coast. There were a few showers down south. There's one lone shower off of Venice right now, but not much going on currently, and I don't expect to see any more rain develop as a result of the cooling of the evening. Now, temperatures did warm today, 91 degrees. Currently, it's 83, clear skies, a dew point 65. Winds are out of the east, and they're not all that strong, but 9 miles an hour. The pressure rising to 9.66 inches and continuing to rise. There it is, the high 91, just a couple degrees shy of the record, and 85 is our normal high. So we'll get closer to that by Friday and then really drop below it by the weekend. So we're looking forward to the weekend as a cold front makes its way through late Friday night. The rainfall for the month doing pretty good, a little bit above average, and for the year, if you can believe it, just a 33/100ths of an inch above average, so almost right at it. 75 in Jacksonville, 79 now in Orlando, 82 in Miami, and temperatures into the low 80s right near the coast, although a little bit cooler in Arcadia and Lake Placid and Sebring, all in the mid to upper 70s there. Well, in the tropics, looks as though Nicole is getting ripped apart now. It's one of the longest lasting storms in many, many years. In fact, it went over nearly 14 days as a named storm, over 2 weeks for the most part. And now we have another one that's just about ready to start. This is going to be Otto, we think. 80% chance of it developing within the next 5 days. The National Hurricane Center expected to send a reconnaissance aircraft into the area east of the Bahamas as early as Thursday. You can already start to see some rotation and spin, and the forecast models look good, and it looks like it's going to stay that way too. No big changes as a result of this front that's going to come down and cool us. It will also pick up whatever it is here and carry it off to the north and keep it away from the United States and head it off toward the northeast as far as that goes. Now, you can see from this computer forecast model, it has it spinning at least a tropical storm or even a hurricane making its way off toward the northwest. And here comes the front, which will kind of act as a blocking mechanism and just force us off into the Atlantic. So Otto, if it does develop, should not be a factor except for creating some pretty high surf along the Carolina coast. For us, we'll stay in this northeasterly wind flow, which means another nice day tomorrow, albeit warm. Highs will be in the low 90s once again. Temperatures around the United States, 70 in Chicago and Green Bay, a bit cooler, 63. Wichita at 74 degrees and Omaha checking in at 69. Dallas still hot at 89. For boaters tomorrow, looks pretty good. Northeast winds at 10 knots. Seas will be right around 2 feet and a light chop in the bays and inland waters. The tides upcoming, the next low tide will be at 8:49 and the high tide at 2:03. Sunset at 6:58. We just had it. And the forecast tonight, isolated shower, maybe a sprinkle. That would be about it. Mostly fair warm, 70 for your low. And then tomorrow, above average temperature again, 90 degrees, partly cloudy in the afternoon after a lot of sunshine in the morning. Northeast winds at 5 to 10. The extended forecast is calling for delightful weather through the weekend. As the front moves through, highs will be in the low 80s, which is something we've been waiting a long time for. Alan will be right back after this.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffy Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing the first televised debate between U.S. Senator Marco Rubio and Patrick Murphy. Our guests tonight include Kevin Griffith, the vice chair of the Sarasota County Democratic Party, Christian Ziegler, state committee man for the Republican Party of Florida, and William March, a veteran political reporter here in Florida. When we pick up the debate, another, we showed Senator Rubio's vulnerability on the 6-year issue. Let's talk a little bit about Patrick Murphy. And the knock against him has been that he has not been in office very long. And before he was in office, he really didn't do a lot in the business world. Let's take a look at that.
You've described yourself as a small business owner, but your company is a subsidiary of a billion-dollar construction firm founded by your father. You call yourself a certified public accountant, but you have not been a CPA in the state of Florida. And for more than a year, your website said that you had 2 degrees from the University of Miami, when in fact you only had 1. So my question is, have you misled Floridians about your experience and your qualifications?
I'm happy to put my resume up as a CPA and a small business owner up against Marco Rubio, a career politician and lobbyist.
Why does someone make things up about their record? Because they don't have a real one to talk about.
Kevin, that has been a real area where Congressman Murphy has been banged around for the last couple of months, and obviously it resonated in this debate last night.
Well, I think independent fact checkers, as he mentioned last night, had labeled that claim mostly false. The issue is he's a CPA. He was a CPA, I believe, in Colorado.
But not in Florida.
And he worked for Deloitte & Touche. I worked for Deloitte & Touche. I understand what they do. What they do is they send you out to whoever their clients are, where you might do independent auditing, you might do performance auditing. The point is he has the credential of the CPA. He's an accountant. Numbers in Colorado and numbers in Florida aren't different.
But there were other things. There were the issue involving, for some point, his website said that he had 2 degrees from the University of Miami, where he only had 1, and that small business that he ran was set up by his very successful dad and really didn't do much business.
Well, I mean, like he said, his father lived the American dream, and yeah, he was honest with it. He said, I started work digging ditches for my dad. There was a company. He did work for him. I mean, it's not a fabrication. It's him telling what happened. And by the way, he has a finance and accounting credential from the university. I guess on his website he may have said he had a degree in both. But the point is he has those skill sets. He's running to be senator, so I think he's got the leadership qualifications and the background, aside from Marco Rubio, who is a career politician.
Well, that was my question to you, Christian, because obviously in the atmosphere that we are living in today, people are down on career politicians, and they look at Marco Rubio, and I don't even know if he's had a job outside elective office ever.
Yeah, no, he has, and he's served, he's taught, outside of elected office, what you're asking about. But when you look at Patrick Murphy, here you have a guy that's lying. He starts off lying about the degrees that he has. Then he lies about his career. Then when he gets in Congress, he does nothing in Congress while he served. And I think there's a big difference between him and then you look at Marco Rubio and the accomplishments he's had when it comes to the VA, and you have the failed VA where, they're failing veterans, and he's able to pass legislation that allows you to get rid of executives or officials at the VA that are underperforming. And, he has a pretty good record in the Senate when you look at it. And I think voters are going to judge both candidates, and it's pretty clear. You have Patrick Murphy who has 0 experience and 0 accomplishments versus Marco Rubio that's actually accomplished stuff.
Despite all that, according to a new poll that came out just today, it shows that this race is in a statistical dead heat. The poll, 49% of Floridians said they were backing Rubio, 47% who are picking Murphy. Murphy himself said that his name recognition is only 51% in the state of Florida.
Yeah, but obviously when you look at the Democratic Party, it looks like they're pulling the resources out of the state of Florida. I think
that was my next question.
Yeah, and I
But
think that, and we'll go to that.
You could ask the question, why is it so close then?
Why is the race so close? Well, that's just one poll. I mean, I think everyone looking at the state of Florida is pretty confident that Marco Rubio is going to win pretty big in Florida. So I don't think anyone's really has any doubt when it comes to the U.S. Senate race who's going to win that race. And I think Patrick Murphy just brings nothing to the table, and that's probably why the Democratic Party is deserting him.
That race is about two people. It's about Donald Trump, and it's about Marco Rubio.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Florida voters across Florida are a lot more intelligent than that. They're going to look at each race and they're going to judge who they're going to vote for. When you look at the Senate race, it is about two people. It's about Marco Rubio and it's about Patrick Murphy, who brings nothing to the table.
And they know Marco Rubio. He's been here a long time, and it's a 2%.
And they don't know anything that Patrick Murphy has accomplished. So I think that's what voters are going to take into consideration.
Hold on, because there's been a question that I've been dying to ask Wendy all day long. If you have a poll that just came out showing this race is within the margin of error, why did the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee today pull all its money for Murphy out of Florida today?
Well, I guess first thing, Alan, is they made that decision slightly before this new Quinnipiac poll came out. It's a good quality poll, but it's not exactly the best possible news for Patrick Murphy, because the reason that he's now within 2 points is undecided voters have been moving to him. Well, there's not that many undecided voters left that could move to him, so closing that final 2 points will be difficult. But the decision, and this is the kind of decision that political parties make all the time.
It's cold and it's very calculated.
It is. They have very limited money. They want to spend it where it will buy them what they need. They don't want to waste it on somebody who's obviously a winner or on somebody who can't win. Now, when they look at Florida, what they see is an extremely expensive state to run a campaign in. Far more expensive than most. It's got 13, maybe 14 media markets. Millions of dollars a week to run a campaign here. All the Democrats want is to get to 50 senators. They can spend only a fraction of that money and have the same impact in another close race like New Hampshire, North Carolina. And there they can win a senator by spending a whole lot less money than what it takes.
The television markets there are smaller and it costs less money to advertise.
Exactly.
All right, let's get to one other area. And there were so many, look, I'll give both candidates a lot of credit. For the most part, this debate was really substantive. But let's talk about abortion, which is always an issue, but more so now because it is combined with the Zika issue. Let's take a look at what they had to say about that.
Senator Rubio, you had told me earlier in the year that you opposed abortion for women who were infected with Zika, even if it meant that they would give birth to seriously deformed children.
I believe that all human life is worthy of the protection of our laws, and I respect people that have reached a different conclusion on this issue.
My opponent does not support a woman's right to choose in the case of rape, in the case of incest, or a mother infected with Zika.
No doubt about it, this is a tough issue to argue, but especially down in Broward and Miami-Dade County, where the Zika outbreak has been the largest. I would imagine that's a tough sell for Senator Rubio.
The tough sell on life? I think Marco Rubio, I think when you look at his career, this has been one of his defining issues, and this has been one of the issues that he's been most strong on. And some people may disagree with it, but he made it pretty clear. I mean, he's a pro-life guy all the way till the end. He believes in pro-life causes. He believes in life. And no matter what the issue is or what could cause it, it's about life. And Rubio stands strong with life. And me personally, I'm with Marco Rubio on that issue 100%. And I think that he's got probably the best pro-life position out of any Republican candidate out there.
It's probably the most extreme position you could have on that issue. And I think that's... It came towards the end of the debate, but I think it was Patrick Murphy's strongest issue and his strongest performance of the night.
And hold on, I can't let that go. I mean, extreme, I think extreme is looking at disabilities and aborting individuals just because they have a disability. I personally think that is a very extreme position. And, Marco Rubio, kudos for him. He sticks up for life, and he even said it there. Doesn't matter if it's popular or not. I firmly believe in the pro-life cause, and that's the position he's taken.
Wendy, is there any indication how this issue plays given the Zika outbreak here across Florida at this stage?
Well, the Zika outbreak has sort of hurt some politicians' abilities to take this strong a pro-life position. He's right, Marco Rubio has taken a very strong pro-life position from day one, and including on Zika. The argument in the debate was that Patrick Murphy ran an ad about Rubio's stance on Zika and abortion, a Spanish language ad. Rubio then responded with another Spanish language ad claiming that Murphy was distorting his position. Well, he wasn't. That was his position, unless he's changed it since he told Mark Caputo he was opposed to abortions for Zika-infected women. Now, if you look at polling, statewide polling, the majority of the populace is not as strongly pro-life, is not as strongly opposed to abortion rights as Marco Rubio. But as you pointed out, he doesn't care about that. He'll take that position. It's obviously a position he believes in strongly.
We have less than a minute left.
Yeah, which I think is refreshing. I mean, you look at a candidate and it's not necessarily taking a position on an issue just because of what the public thinks or where the polls happen to be that day. I mean, this is a defining issue for him. It's a defining principle, and he's been pretty strong, and he always will be, I believe.
Kevin, last word.
On women's health, whether it's the Affordable Care Act or his position on abortion, Marco Rubio is not with the people of Florida.
Okay. A reminder to our viewers, you can watch last night's debate in full on our website, mysuncoast.com, or one of our over-the-top platforms, Apple TV, Amazon, Fire, and Roku. Let's take a break, but when we come back, we'll have final thoughts from our panel as well as comments from our viewers.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better reader.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, ANDservices.com.
Welcome back. Who came out ahead in last night's debate between Marco Rubio and Patrick Murphy? Will last night's debate make a difference in November? Our guests join us now for final thoughts. Here's the big question, Wendy, is what impact will the presidential race have on the U.S. Senate race? Is what, I mean, what, if anything, or is this really kind of, separate?
Well, the answer is yes and no. It is separate, at least to some extent, which is that Marco Rubio has been running 5, 6, actually more like, I guess about 8 points better than Donald Trump in all polling. For example, right now, if Rubio is up 2 points, Clinton is up 3.6 points, and that means there's a 5.5 point swing between the two of them. In the past, there was a greater swing. It was about an 8 point swing. The Quinnipiac pollsters who did the poll that you talked about said that the reason that Murphy has come closer is because of Trump's decline. I think if Trump goes further down, Rubio has to start worrying.
I can tell you from a volunteer perspective, when you look at both races and how they're connected, I mean, they're really kind of working off of each other, and they have different demographics they attract. And I know Donald Trump's generating a lot of interest and a lot of energy, and all those volunteers that are coming out for Donald Trump are pushing Marco Rubio's message as well. But I think when voters go in the ballot box, they're going to look at each individual race all down the ballot. And I think it's going to stand on its own, but I'm pretty confident Rubio is going to win pretty big when you look at Florida.
Well, Kevin, you know, when I hear all the reporting on the ground game here in Florida, there's still been a lot of talk that the Trump campaign really does not have a huge ground game, but the Democrats are really out there in mining data and so forth.
And that's what we pride ourselves on. I know this weekend, making phone calls and knocking on doors, the machine is in place. I mean, because our volunteers are passionate, and they are passionate about Patrick Murphy as well. And I feel comfortable about Patrick Murphy. It's an open seat. He's running against a sitting senator, and he's 2 points down with a month to go, voting already going. I mean, he's got to be feeling at least pretty good.
But if you look across the state, I mean, we have 70,000 volunteers that have signed up to volunteer for Donald Trump. That's an army right there. Right. And everywhere they're going door to door making phone calls.
We'll have to leave it there. But before we go, we want to share with you some of our comments from viewers last night about a story that we brought you on Friday. The city of Sarasota operates more than 80 surveillance cameras. Nearly half of them are in the community of Newtown. Some say the cameras are targeting the minority community. Others say that the cameras are important for public safety. Here is what some of our viewers are saying. Ian Eldridge writes, have cameras deterred crime? I doubt it. So, of course, the residents of Newtown have a valid grievance with the cameras. Pat Ledwith writes, the Newtown neighborhood asked for the cameras and paid for them with redevelopment tax dollars and even had input on their locations. Suncoast and Black Lives Matter doesn't speak for Newtown. And Chris Minich writes, liberal media loves topics like this. They love creating division. That's what the media does. They feed off of polarizing people. Chris, get a grip. There was a community meeting where police went to it, and it ended suddenly in discord. It is called news. That is spelled N-E-W-S. And if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news7. I want to thank our guests for being here tonight. Kevin Griffith is the vice chair of the Sarasota County Democratic Party. Christian Ziegler is state committee man for the Republican Party of Florida. And William Arch is a veteran politics reporter here in Florida. When we return, we'll speak with our business commentator about how this election could impact the stock market.
At ABC7, it's all about being here for you. ABC7 News at 7 with award-winning investigative journalist Alan Cohn. In-depth reporting and debate on important issues and stories in our community with a featured topic of the day and a live roundtable discussion with community leaders and newsmakers. Plus a quick recap of the day's top stories and weather. ABC7 News at 7 weeknights. Now more than ever, we're here for you, Suncoast.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
A new feature tonight on ABC7 at 7. Twice a month, we will check in with our business and financial expert, Richard Stern, on issues from finance to Wall Street. And tonight, we are talking about the impact of the presidential race on Wall Street. Richard, thanks for joining us and welcome to the broadcast.
Alan, thanks for having me.
You know, here's the question. Is the presidential campaign already having an impact on Wall Street?
Most people would say the answer to that is yes. And the reason I say that is the market's been more sideways than anything else. And Wall Street has never really liked surprises, and Wall Street typically doesn't like change. So all of that would say that in all likelihood, Hillary seems to be the leader, and that seems to be baked into the stock market already.
Well, that was my next question, because you know, you've always heard that Wall Street likes Republican financial policies, but on the other hand, according to some of the statistics you showed, you know, the stock market does not like questions that they can't answer. And so how do both candidates bear into that equation?
Well, I think one thing our viewers should know is that the third year of a presidential cycle typically is by far the best year as far as stock market performance. Years 1 and 2 certainly the worst, and year 4 is actually coming in kind of in the middle or third. So I think what you have to remember is that this election, as huge as it is, probably is not going to have a major impact on Wall Street unless there would be a serious upset. And right now, most people don't see that. So I think the bottom line is, barring something very dramatic, I think you're going to see the market just go on its normal way.
Now, you know, there are Republicans and Democrats who work on Wall Street. So I don't know if this is a fair question, but I'll ask it anyway. Does Wall Street in general prefer one of the candidates over the other?
Well, I think, again, that depends on who you ask. There's an old gag, if you ask 6 economists, you get 8 opinions, and I think that's probably the case here. But typically, of course, the Republican Party is thought of as the party of the business people, and the Democratic Party is thought of as the party of the working people. And the reality is it's somewhere in between. And again, in a perfectly level race, would the Wall Street people prefer a Republican? In all likelihood, the answer is yes, but I must point out that under Bill Clinton, we certainly had 8 years of terrific stock markets. Under Mr. Obama, we've had 8 years of pretty darn good stock markets. Remember, he took over at a horrible time in the end of the banking crisis in 08 and 09. So if history repeats itself, the answer is the Democrats would be favored on Wall Street based on what I can see right now.
Is there anything that Wall Street doesn't like about this particular campaign?
I don't think Wall Street necessarily is in love with either candidate. I think it's a matter of the lesser of the two evils. I think, again, Hillary is more predictable. I think people are a little concerned as to whether or not Mr. Trump is predictable or not and how he might react in difficult situations. But that's why the voters are going to have their choice. And, boy, 3 weeks is going to come real quickly.
For all of us. Yes. Richard, thanks a lot. Thanks for being here and shedding some light on this important topic. Stay tuned for your primetime headlines coming up next.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Getting older shouldn't mean giving up all the things she loves to do. It should just mean, well, finding new ways to do them. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to provide help with personal care, housekeeping, and of course, meal preparation.
Oh, that smells so good. Oh, and it tastes good too.
We can provide the right care right at home.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Get ready, get your antacid, or get something else. Tomorrow is the third and final debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Over the last several days, Trump has been saying in tweets and in speeches he fears the election will be rigged, suggesting his supporters go to the polls and watch for evidence of voter fraud. At the White House today, Trump got just a little bit of pushback from President Obama, who called the GOP nominee's comments irresponsible.
Doesn't really show the kind of leadership and toughness that you'd want out of a president. If you start whining before the game's even over, then you don't have what it takes to be in this job.
Clinton and Trump will face off tomorrow in Las Vegas, where Clinton has been off the trail, preparing for her surrogates, have been expanding their efforts traditionally in Republican states. Today was the last day to register to vote in the November election. Last week, a federal judge extended the deadline because of disruption from Hurricane Matthew. Early voting begins Monday and runs through November 5th. Florida's decade-long streak of dodging hurricanes is over, but the state created a fund that helps private insurers pay claims after a storm is still in a strong financial shape. The COO of Florida Hurricane Catastrophe Fund says early estimates show the fund will pay out less than $200 million for Hurricane Matthew and only minimal payouts associated with Hurricane Hermine. Today, the fund's advisory council approved a new financial estimate showing that the fund has roughly $17.5 billion available and could borrow nearly $8 billion more if needed. And that is all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.